Anime. Hey, what are you doing here? Looks like my dog is going to be joining into the intro. Say hello.
Hey, bitch!
So where was I? Oh yeah, anime. Don't we all just love ourselves a bit of anime? Ew, anime? No, never. I would never watch it. I'm not a wee. You're lying to yourself. You do like it. Doesn't even need to be anything particular, like a particular series or whatever, but just animation style in general is just so magical. There's like hundreds of different styles, and throughout the years you see them kind of evolving. One anime style that I like, for example, is that late 90s, early 2000s kind of anime, you know? Something about it, just that like shine around everything, if you know what I mean, and like the aesthetic vibe of everything is just wow. But you get what I'm saying. You don't have to actually like an anime to just like animation, and like all the different styles, you know what I mean? Now me, being the creative genius that I am, one day thought while watching an anime, I want to do that. And I know we've all been there, whether it's an anime, whether it's a game, whether it's anything like big budget mostly related. All of our inner kids are always like,
I want my own anime.
so lately I've been thinking about how I could actually do that, and occasionally playing some freeform jazz while thinking about it. Right, if anyone gets that reference, S tier human, please marry me. Now of course the biggest reason why I can't just make an anime myself is because I don't really have drawing talent, animation talent, a whole studio to animate those things. I pretty much have nothing. But I do have one thing that has become very powerful lately. One thing that all of you sure know. AI. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I had the genius idea. What if I just use AI to make an anime? Now, of course, sounds good on paper, right? But how do you actually go about doing this? Now, I figured out two ways how we can actually make this anime with AI, so I'm gonna write them down. Yeah, there we go. I came prepared. There we go. First way. From scratch. Now what does this mean? Now this means that all the AI models, scenes, everything, we each generate them separately and then make them come alive into one anime. Now pros and cons of doing this. You do have technically more creativity available because you generate each segment yourself, but cons, it's a lot of work. Now, that's why we have a second way, video to AI video. Recently, it has come to my attention that there is a AI tool called Runway, which lets you film a video and then make it into whatever AI you want, including anime if you get it just right. So of course the pros are, it's a lot easier because you already can establish the shots that you want. You just film the little anime in real life, and then you just let AI do its thing. Now cons are, of course, are that it is less creative because you don't really have that much control over the end product. That's just what the AI gave you, and you just kind of have to try again and try again, try again until it looks good, or you know, you just take what you have. Now the question is, which one do we take? Now after thinking about it long and hard, I've come to a conclusion. The best thing that I could do is try both. So I'm just going to first try to do the from scratch route and see what I can make and what I can learn and stuff. But if I'm really there and just nothing's working and I'm just there like, this ain't it, chief, then I will just move to video, and then we can see which one, you know, is...
Spoiler alert, it's option A.
Now for those of you already thinking ahead, you might be asking yourself, Misty, but what kind of anime do you even want to make? I've already thought of that. So this is what I thought of. The aesthetic, as I said in the beginning of the video, I really like. I would really like a Outrun, Vaporwave, you know, late 90s, early 2000s kind of vibe. Because I don't know why, but whenever I see any type of content like that, whether it's any of those things, I just instantly become happy. Now the plot, well, I'm going to keep it a secret because, well, hopefully when all of this goes right, the little anime will be done and then you'll see the plot and what happens, you know. Now, the duration, I'm going to be realistic here. Hopefully 30 seconds to max a minute because, as I said, I am just me a 20-year-old kid that does not know what he's doing and has no experience or talent whatsoever. But that will not stop me from trying, because I have a vision and I have a will, and where there's a will, there's a way. So without any further ado, I guess I'll just research. I have a pretty basic idea of what I'm going to do, so now it's just trial and error, and yeah, I'll document here and there what I've been doing and how I've been doing it, and then hopefully we'll make something nice. So I went straight to work researching all the different AI tools that I could use to, put this whole anime together. Now, the way that I settled on doing this is pretty simple in theory. Basically, the first thing I would need to do is render out the scenery and the main character. Now, how I did this is with a program called Stable Diffusion. For those who are familiar with AI, you've probably heard of this program before, but for those who haven't, to put it simply, you can pretty much create anything you'd like, whether it's through text to an image or image to image or whatever 1,000 features the program has. Oh my god. It's very powerful, but also not very easy. To simply put it, if you want to explain what you want to this AI, that's a skill called prompting. It's being able to correctly articulate to the AI what you want. And since I'm a noob, and this was the first time I'm trying this, I had to make hundreds and hundreds of renders before I actually had something acceptable. Like, for example, the main character, which is the first thing I started with. Okay, for the main character, I was thinking maybe just me, but then a lot cooler in anime form. So let's do one boy, gray pants, red jacket. And with those prompts, I went to work rendering hundreds and hundreds of different variations of what I envisioned to be my character. And finally, after a long while, I had this. Okay, I think I have our main character, or at least like very close to what I envisioned. And I'm pretty happy with it. This is what he looks like. Red jacket. It's not the same. And of course, like it is not the same, but that's what I meant. Like, I wanted a cooler anime version of me. But he got the red jacket, the gray pants, the white shirt, and like that little, e-boyish black, kind of Levi mean looking style. So I would say I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. So with my main character done, all I had to do now was the scenery. And the scenery was pretty much the same procedure, but instead of trying to create a character, I just tried to describe the places that I would like for my anime. So that also went on for a couple of hours well into the night, so that the next day I could move on to step 2 of the whole process. And that next step was to create depth, especially for the main character. So basically I had to make him 3D. And how I did that is with a program that you can run through Google Colab, which is called TIF UHD. And basically what it does, it takes a single 2D image and creates a 3D scan of it and makes a 3D model. From one single image, it makes a 3D model. Now, it is very far from perfect. You will see that in the final video, because it's kind of limited, because it just physically can't make a perfect 3D model out of thin air. But the fact that it can already do that much based off of a single image from one view is pretty insane. So after some cleaning up in Blender, my character was 3D, with depth, and it was ready for my anime. Now all I needed to do was create depth into each and every one of my scenes that I've rendered. And basically how I did that is with another plugin for Stable Diffusion that made a depth map from a 2D image. After that, I put that depth map as a displacement modifier in Blender, which basically projected that depth onto a plane. I added the textures back of the original image, and boom, you have a 3D version of your 2D image. And this process doesn't really take that long for one image, but it does take very long for a lot of images. So I was basically doing this on and off for a couple of days. But I did order a pizza, so I was chilling while doing this. Hello. It is a couple days later, and I think I have all the shots. I've been working on them on and off for the last couple of days. I've been grinding, and I think I have all the shots needed to make the anime. So all I need to do now is just hop into DaVinci, slap everything together, which it sounds easy, but and yeah, everything should come together. So what up, baby? I am back. I think I'm I can't. Oh my god. I think the video is done. I've been working on this video on and off for like multiple days now, and I think it's finally finished. So I will just give you guys the honor of watching the little short movie first, and then after that I'll do a little analysis thing, whatever, for those of you that didn't understand the story, because probably none of you will. Now keep in mind, everything you're about to see, aesthetically wise, is AI generated. So the sets, the character, everything. So that goes without saying that it looks pretty weird. Like, not everything makes sense. But in my opinion, that whole AI doesn't make sense weirdness just kind of adds that feeling, that aesthetic feeling to it. Like, it's weird, but that's the point. This whole project is just kind of a proof of concept of what even is possible. And to be honest, the only limitation is your mind and your creativity. So yes, fair warning, it's weird, it doesn't make sense. So don't go in the comments saying, but yeah, I such a goofy ass up. So, enjoy. I'll go for a walk to clear my head. Hey man, not much. I'm just on a walk actually right now. I've kind of got a headache because I've been worrying so much about the future. Like, everything is just moving so fast that I don't even know where I'm going anymore.
Yeah, I get you. But hey, look, life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it.
I remember. So, Mappa, I'm expecting the email within 24 hours. But yeah, what did you guys think? For those of you that didn't kind of get the whole story, it's kind of pretty personal and it might relate to some of you. The story is about a character who's having a struggle with living in the present. He keeps thinking about his future and is worrying about it very much because the future isn't certain. You don't know what happens, and sometimes you just kind of feel lost and you don't know where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, where you're gonna end up. And a lot of people end up struggling with that, but after a while, you kind of start to live in that future, and because of the worry you have, you kind of make your future worrisome, if that makes sense. So that's when he gets a call from his friend, you know, and they talk, and then with that one quote, which is actually quite a special quote for me because it kind of stuck around with me, is life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And that's true. So that's when he gets a flashback to when he was a kid. Because when you were a kid, time didn't exist. All you knew was just the here and now, and you enjoyed the moment. You weren't worrying about what the future is gonna be like or what you're gonna do, you know? You just enjoyed the moment and you made your path step by step, slowly but surely. And that's how you go into the future. So the character realizes this, he remembers, and in the end he's kinda enjoying the moment and the scenery around him. So I don't know if you could tell that from that movie, but you know, that was kind of the message that I was going for, and it is quite personal to me actually, because I've been kind of struggling with that lately, and right now I'm learning to indeed live in the moment and just step by step live in the present now, and what I do now eventually becomes my future. This was a very fun project to do, although very time consuming, but I really like doing these kinds of things and just seeing what is possible with whatever, you know. Thank you, by the way, for 80 subscribers. That is actually really nice. I haven't really looked at it that much before, so to see that all of a sudden we're at 80 subscribers is just wow. Thank you, everyone. And just the support in general, especially in my last video, I got a bunch of really nice supportive comments, so thank you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, goodbye and good night.